I think at one point it was 13-0 or maybe even 15-0 before Stephanie White actually unswallowed the whistle. Absolutely unbelievable. Sophie Cunningham got hot in this game. Guess what? Let's quit putting the ball in her hands. Sophie Cunningham, she tried 5 of 8, 15 points. Natasha Howard started out hot in this game.
Sophie Cunningham was on fire in the first half, then she practically disappeared. Kelsey Mitchell had the hot hand, but got benched when it mattered most, and Stephanie White just stared as New York dropped 56 points in one half. Can the Fever's problems really come down to coaching? This collapse was a masterclass in what not to do. Let's get into it. Imagine this, the Indiana Fever stormed onto the court with all the fire they could muster. Sophie Cunningham couldn't seem to miss early on, draining threes and attacking the rim with the kind of energy that had New York scrambling. By halftime, it looked like the Fever were in complete control. Kelsey Mitchell was carving up the Liberty defense with sharp cuts and near-flawless shooting.
Once again, a total and complete second half of a basketball game meltdown. It was, I mean, it's hard to believe. And I believe it ended up being 69. Absolutely unbelievable. Sophie Cunningham got hot in this game. Guess what? Let's quit putting the ball in her hands.
And the whole team was pushing the pace brilliantly. For a moment, it felt like this was their statement game. They were aggressive, fluid, and confident. This Indiana team was playing like a squad, determined to show they belonged among the contenders. Then halftime happened, and every ounce of momentum disappeared. The Liberty came out of the locker room with their foot on the gas, piling up 56 points in the second half alone.
In the second half of the game. I mean, basically non-existent in the second half. By the way, sure seemed like people quit passing the ball to her. Right over Sophie from not quite the corner, but getting close. And she knocked it down. And Stephanie White had us lulled in, had us pulled in at halftime.
That's right, 56 points in just 2 quarters. Meanwhile, the Fever's rhythm completely unraveled. You could see it happening in real time. Defensive breakdowns, sloppy turnovers, and rushed offensive possessions. But the real question is, where was Stephanie White during all of this? The Liberty went on massive scoring runs, but White didn't make the adjustments you'd expect in moments like those.
Believing. Are we gonna pull this off over the Liberty in New York? I believe that was in the first half. I think all of these were in the first half. 46-42. Nah, not going to happen. Because then it got real ugly.
Key players looked lost on defense, rotation stayed static, and crucial timeouts weren't called when the game was slipping away. Sophie Cunningham, it felt like she vanished. After her explosive start, she all but disappeared on both ends of the floor. And here's the wild part.
Kelsey Mitchell tried 29 points. I mean, she played her ass off.
Kelsey Mitchell, one of their most consistent offensive threats, was benched down the stretch despite her strong first half. Fans and analysts were stunned, with one analyst saying, "It's baffling to see a coach freeze while the game gets out of hand like this." The frustration was obvious. On the other side, Sabrina Ionescu walked onto the court and immediately started breaking hearts with dagger 3-pointers. Jonquel Jones, she looked dominant, adding 17 points and 9 rebounds, bullying her way to the rim as if the Fever had no answer. The Liberty simply looked tougher, smarter, and more prepared as Indiana crumbled under pressure.
27 points and 29 points in the third and fourth quarter for the New York Liberty. In case you're wondering, it turned into a massacre, an absolute brutal massacre by that point. 56 damn points for the New York Liberty.
White's in-game decisions, or lack thereof, made it feel like the collapse was inevitable. So now the question is, can the Fever survive this season without real change? Caitlin Clark's injuries have been a massive setback for the Fever this season, but now the team is unraveling without her presence. The timing couldn't be worse.
Sabrina Ionescu rested a bunch of the game in the second half, and then they brought her in, and she hit and blew the whistle, called a timeout to try to stop the bleeding. By then, it was too late. Sophie Cunningham, She tried 5 of 8, 15 points. Natasha Howard started out hot in this game.
With Clark on the court, the Fever have posted a competitive 8-6 record. Without her, they've dropped to 4-5, and the difference is obvious in almost every part of their game. Clark brings a pace and flow that's impossible to replace, slicing through defenses and keeping everyone involved.
13, 13, 17. This was not going to happen. I think at one point it was 13-0 or maybe even 15-0 before Stephanie White actually unswallowed the whistle.
Without her, the Fever's offense has struggled to find the same rhythm. It's slower, more predictable, and frankly, too easy to defend. Ari McDonald has stepped into Clark's spot, but this is no easy adjustment. McDonald's style is built more around steadiness rather than Clark's aggressive instinct and elite anticipation. It forces the Fever into a half-court setup that's not playing to their strengths. Opposing defenses are packing the paint or cutting off passing lanes, and the Fever haven't found a way to respond effectively.
Aaliyah Boston, 15 points in this game, 7 of 13.
Players like Aaliyah Boston, who excels when the floor is spread, have had fewer opportunities to shine. Boston admitted the changes have been tough, saying, "Spacing and trust are things we're working on, but it's not easy when the game slows down like this."
Aaliyah Boston, she did get to 1,500 career points in this game. Congratulations.
Sophie Cunningham has taken some of the responsibility on her shoulders, calling for other players to step up. And while there have been individual performances to celebrate, the larger issue remains. Without Clark running the offense, the whole team struggles to find cohesion. The question many are asking is whether Stephanie White can make the necessary adjustments. So far, the results aren't there.
And faded away. Went absolutely quiet. 13 points. I mean, another Stephanie White, nonsensical. Let's just let them go on a run.
White has emphasized that Clark's recovery needs more time, hinting that soft tissue injuries like hers could even extend into the offseason. And now, the Fever face a rematch against the Liberty, this time on ESPN. It could be the turning point of their season, or the moment we realize their playoff hopes are dead. Do you think they can save their season, or is this team running out of chances? What's your take? The Fever's second half collapse wasn't just about one rough stretch. It exposed cracks far deeper than a bad shooting night or defensive lapses. When a team crumbles so completely, as they did against the Liberty, you have to start looking beyond the players and toward the coaching. A game this pivotal should have been the moment for Stephanie White to step up, but her inability to adjust left fans and analysts asking tough questions. So what happens next? Does White find a way to rally this team, or is it time for the Fever to start rethinking leadership? Let's hear your thoughts.